Live. Live, I tell you, live. Evening, you wrong'uns. Oh, blimey, that's a bit hot. Evening and welcome. Let's go to some of the comments. Remember, you can you can comment. I can't even think. You can comment anytime you wish tonight about literally anything. I was going to read some of your comments out from the last few lives, but there's so many of them. So I'm going to get my act into gear and respond appropriately and proportionately. So if you want to comment tonight, fill your boots. The Bovril, I'm in, you're wrongin'. Theo, the chief wrongin', definitely. Theo, Bovril. Mr. John Up, good evening, Adrian, you're wrongin'. And to all tuning in, I wonder if Adie Blackmore is playing with his guitar. Hang on a second, let's have a check. Not quite. Adie Blackmore's having a strum. Always. Multitasking. Isn't that right, Adie? Yes, I was playing my guitar and working on the new song called the Battenberg Blues. It's in the key of E. E! Dame Anna. Oh, hello, everybody. Mr. Allen has been pretty fired up today, so I'm looking forward to this. Got my beer. You may proceed. Well, have I been fired up? I was just that's my normal demeanour. Sort of. The Bovril's back. Adrian is wrong'un poo bar. You can't get any higher status than a wrong'un poo bar. Yeah, grand poo bar. We're all equal. So they say. But if this was a communist show, all men are equal, but some are more equal than others, especially if you call Vladamir. 3.5 billion quid from the CIA in me trouser pocket. Lovely. They're not very happy with them, are they, the CIA? I was going to ask, we're going to play Hunt the Vladimir a little bit later. It's a bit like Hunt the Snake, but you're probably going to get taken out with an injection by some Russian secret agent. Can you remember? Now, this might be hard for you. Can you remember a little while ago, might have even been in the late 80s or the 90s, where there was some presidential thing going on and some woman was at the back going, "Oi, you're wrong'un," shouting abuse from the back. And all of a sudden, just some people kind of sidled up to her, went in front of her, jibber jabber, woof, unconscious, off you go. They don't walk about, them Russians. Especially if they're, was it Novichok? The poison on the streets of England. Yeah, Eddie said, the Battenberg Blues. That's only when you go to the cupboard, Little Miss Hubbard, and you haven't got any Battenberg left. Mr. John Up, let's just get into these. I'm only going to do 5 minutes or so before we get into stuff. I will upload it to YouTube, but I can't sing. Mr. John Up agrees. That makes 2 of us. 3 of us. Blimey. You'd have to grab me sphericals and squeeze really hard for me to get any noise out of this. I can't sing. Classically trained cellist and sometime bass player, but no, can't sing to save me life. Especially as every man knows, sorry ladies, but every man knows when the sphericals drop, you go from being Joe Pasquale to Barry White overnight. Easy for you to say. I'm stone cold sober. Kevin Rollins, evening Adrian, evening Kevin, welcome. Simon John Lavender, hello Adrian, oh hello Simon John, welcome, yeah wrong'un. Oh blimey, hang on, Rusty Mouse is in the house. Andy Turner, you'll be too, hang on, you'll be too stiff, what are you two talking about? You're utter wrong'uns. Hang on, Jilly B is in the house, Adie Blackmore, yeah wrong'un. I can't see how Rusty Mouse has got to Andy Turner, unless Andy Turner's deleted it, saying you'll be too stiff. You've been out running. Vivian Kenyon, hello Adrian. Prepare to rant, love 'em. Viv and Darlow. Me too, Viv. Love a bit of a rant. I mean, I don't want to put others to shame, but there's some people on YouTube that saying, they rant. Hang on. Oh, Jess Phillips quits Labour front bench as Sir Keir Starmer suffers a major rebellion over vote for ceasefire. Oh, Labour's in revolt. Is that a northern town, revolt? I'm going to just get rid of that. So there's stuff going on. Let me just write that down. I'm sure we can make very good use of that. Just a minute. Wrong. Sir Keir Starmer. I mean, who would be him? Just think of all the money, Keir. Oh, did I say that out loud? Mad Matt's in the house tonight. Good evening, Adrian. Brilliant uploads this week. Oh, that's why. Great job. Thank you, Mad Matt. So I'd missed a whole load of comments that, and I won't. What time we got? I'll give it maybe a couple more. David Bevan. Evening, David. Evening, Adrian. Wrong and definitely. Sean, is the heating broke? I've got the window open because it gets a bit warm with these lights on, man. And I'm from the north, you know. As long as it's minus 25 degrees Celsius, I'm fine. But anything anywhere near freezing and above, God, blimey, I'd lose about 4 stone in weight. Wiggy videos. Oh, do Adrian. Bit cold up there, is it? It's in freezing. Wrong. Just the way I love it. Just, you know. It's the only thing that gets me stiff nowadays. Terry Walkfit. Now, Tracy, what you been doing? Tablock Tracy had a strum last night, but not with a guitar. Oh, do tell. Terry Walkfit. No, Tracy. No. The overall should have been in the key of B4. Boom. What I got? Pick all up there, is it, Adrian? Wiggy videos possibly thrown out the window. No, I just opened the window. Although watching these clowns in Parliament, it's enough to make a saint swear. And I do appreciate and respect people who don't want me to be sweary Mary. So we've just got to come up with a different form of language where I can kind of swear, but you get that I've sworn, but I haven't really sworn. Sworn? Dale Steele, Adrian, you forgot to take your coat off, duck. No, it's a hoodie. Can I tell you something? When I went to Nottingham, and I love the East Midlands. I love the East Midlands. And I lived in a village-ish just outside on the 52 towards Grantham. And so I'm trying to make friends at the new radio station. At the time, I was living in London and commuting up to Nottingham daily. God, blimey, you should have seen the mileage on my car. But I was commuting daily up to Century 106. And because it's Dale Steele calling me Duck. Because in the East Midlands, everybody calls everybody Duck. So I keep going into the radio station, and every time I go in, I just say to the receptionist, "Morning, Bonnie lass, morning." It's kind of northeastern, Bonnie meaning. So I'll go in and I call the girls, "Morning, Bonnie lass, morning, Bonnie lass, afternoon, Bonnie lass." The managing director pulls me aside one day and he says, "Adrian, can I have a word?" "Yeah, what's going on?" "Well, I don't know how to put this, but can you stop calling all the women in the building Bonnie lass?" So that's a bit odd. Are they a bit sensitive about something? He said, "What does Bonnie lass mean to you?" I said, "Beautiful. Bonnie, beautiful. It's northeastern. Bonnie lass, beautiful woman." He said, "No, in the East Midlands it means fat. You've been calling all the women in the building fat for weeks." Who knew? Who knew? In Nottingham, the word Bonnie, now Scotland, it's like good looking, it's beautiful, in the northeast. You get down in Nottingham in the East Midlands, they think you're calling them fat. And they weren't. So, wrongin' started in the East Midlands because what was I going to do? I had to call them something. "Morning, you're wrongin'." "What does that mean? They calling me fat again?" Ugh. Yeah, so I haven't forgotten to take my coat off. I might take it off eventually because it is going to get a bit warm, I'm sure. Andy Turner, I see Cat Dealey is doing okay job on this morning. Do I know any? Yeah, yeah. Because well, she's a mum. She's married. Mum. Married to a comedian. But no, it's probably unfair of me to say it. There were rumours. There were rumours. She even addressed them at one point. Had a very good friend. I might tell you later, but it's, she's only just started on this morning. We can't crush her because she's just started on this morning. She's come across from LA just to be here. Who would have done that? Patrick Kilty. What a boy. Oh, my tea's getting quite cold, so I'll be drinking it quite quick. GB Patriot, after I'd said that I'd been watching these clowns. I mean, GB Patriot said, evening, Robin, I wouldn't vote for any of them. I know. I mean, it's called democracy. You get a vote for a reason. But as Ken Livingston says, if voting changed anything, they'll abolish it. What are we going to do? Because they're going to... they're going to go to the country. They're going to have a general election. Have you ever noticed how the Japanese always laugh at that when you say it's a general election? Do I have to explain that to you? It's not a bad gag for the beginning of the show, but I am, aren't I? Japanese can't pronounce the letter L because they don't have the letter L in their vocabulary. Instead of an L, they say R. So, I'll do the joke again. Why do the Japanese always laugh when you talk about a general election? I'll leave you with it. Dave Manor, you mean 9 Labour front benches have resigned? Behave, Kaz, have they? Literally. Do you know, I come on air and all of a sudden it's all kicking off. Not only is this kind of a Richboy sunk thing, is he going, here, Kia, get some of your front bench to resign, man. Yeah, get rid of them. It'll take the heat off me. And Suella. Do you think she's going to join another political party, or is she just going to, stay in the Conservatives? Because it looks like, it looks like she's her one reason for living, to kill off Richboy. I mean, can you? I was thinking, I've ordered Nadine Dorry's book. Honestly, the plot, just to read it, to go, they say it's a work of fiction. Well, they've got to say that so they can, well, not necessarily sell it, but so that they won't get, they won't get sued. I remember somebody dedicated a whole chapter to me in his biography, and he rang me at home and said, Adrian, what? Mate, I've written my biography. I said, oh, right. How long is it? 3 pages? No. I've written about you in my book, man. I said, that's very kind of you. Do you want me to send it across to you? So what do I want to read that for? To work in fiction. What'd you do? Write it with crayons? He said, no, he's dead now, so I can say this. Died of a heart attack, golf course. Poor way to go. Probably shanked his drive. And he said, oh, man, I'll send it to you. I'll have a read. I said, I don't need to read it. Hang on, my potatoes are on the boil. Just do whatever you want. I'm not interested. Anyway, he goes on. He's on national radio, and he's mutual friends of ours. Got him on the radio, and they gave me a mention. And I laughed because I thought, oh, I should have read that, really. And then I didn't, because he wasn't very gentlemanly, and it's a shame because he lied in his book. And it's really, really odd because people, I don't know whether they get it mixed up in their head, but the truth is the truth, and a lie is a lie. But if nobody knows the truth, you think you can get away with a lie. So I was thinking about, well, maybe I should put the result of the court case up online, because then you can see he lied out of his fat, useless arse. So I might one day. I'm not that cruel, because everybody has seemingly through rose-tinted glasses. I know there's one radio station manager who shall remain nameless, but he's working out in Australia. Evening, Div. You're right, Div. One said to me, if I see him walking down the street, I'm going to stab him in the eyes. I was like, oh, Div, did he upset you? Because there's a story there, which I'm not going to relate here. There's a story there. He said, oh, yeah. In fact, I'll get my mate Dave on. He's in Australia somewhere. I'll get him on to tell the story. It's a great story. And that's the problem, you see. When people tell lies, but they tell everybody it's the truth, who could I be thinking of? And people believe it as a truth. When the truth comes out, they go, no, 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 that's not the truth. We've been told the truth. That's the truth. No, no. It was written down and a judge agreed. Blimey, I never thought I'd... it's a bit vague, I know. But there is a legal reason why I'm not for the moment. Pink Rose. Hey, Pink Rose, you've lost an S. And can I tell you something? Yes, I got your email. Did I reply? No, I didn't. Why didn't I reply? Because you didn't give me your real name. Now, my name is above the door on this channel. So, Pink Roses, you can write again. And you can tell me your real name. Because it's only ever going to go between me and you. And I'm never going to, out of respect and manners, because manners maketh man, I'm not going to bring your real name here. But there's a thing called integrity, decency, and honour. Don't hide your name. Because there's no integrity in that. There's no decency in that. And there's no honour. So I look forward to hearing from you again. And I will reply very quickly. Because I get alerts on this newfangled thing called an iPhone. So give me your real name. Just so I can eliminate some of the people that I think you may be. And I have a very furtive imagination. I hope you haven't worked for The Guardian before. But look forward to seeing your real name. Thank you very much. Tablock Tracy. Labour MPs dropping like flies. Do you know that there is a former Labour MP? Oh, man, Mandy Mandelson. His name is mentioned in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. I think he might have even been on the Lolita Express. What would Mandy Mandelson, former Labour Svengali, what would he be doing in Jeffrey Epstein's little black book? You can comment. Sorry, you can say that, but I can't possibly comment. Not here for the moment, until I've got it in black and white, if you know what I mean. Hang on. Tablock Tracy, man, you're losing me. Labour MPs dropping like flies. Was a friend to Deck. I'm getting behind on these. But that is... while we're going on, keep me updated as to what's going on. I mean, is Sir Kid Starver, is he going to have any MPs left? I mean, if you look at Richboy and the pig fucker, he's... What? Sorry for the language. Pig shagger. Shaggers, yeah. So, Adrian, to be a member of this club, one has to take one's marriage guidance and one has to has to put it into the mouth of a pig. Yeah, what? Yes. One has to put one's schmeckle, into the mouth of a pig. What do I have to do that for? Because if you don't, you're not coming in the club. I won't be coming in the pig either. So what's... So David Cameron, just call me Dave. He's back in the fold as Foreign Secretary. Oy vey, my life so soon. Lynn Turner, welcome into the body of the Kirk. Yeah, wrong one. let me tell you, I was going to do it like a little bit of an intro, but as always, you get me distracted and telling you stories. So tonight's live is number 41. The next live is next Wednesday, but there will be something on Sunday. We haven't quite decided yet, me and the team, but we're gonna put something up at 8 o'clock, so that you can enjoy it. It won't be a live, but it'll be something else that we're going to put up at 8 o'clock on Sunday. Not telling you what, you'll just have to wait, but we might put it on as a premiere. So tonight we're going to talk about, I'm going to ask you a question. Which royal was teed up for I'm a Celebrity? And the picture's coming out. Sean, did you not get on with Mr. Myers? Yeah, I did all the time. There was a time where, I'll get back to this in a second. I'll tell Sean the detail of this story. So he wanted me to go to South Wales. And I said, all right, John, let's talk about money. And we talked about money. And literally, I was there for like 6 weeks, and they wanted to do some vox pops, voice of the people. It's Latin for voice of the people, vox pops. And they went into Cardiff to see if or what, how many DJs of real radio people in Cardiff knew. And there was only one name. Everybody was talking about Adrian Allen. Oh, all right, I'm just kind of throwing this in there for a reason. And he came back to me and he went, team, bugger me, man. We've been into Cardiff and there's only one person they're talking about. Everybody we've asked. They can only name one presenter on real radio, and it's you. I said, oh, brilliant. You're going to give me a bonus? Well, did we agree that? I said, no, we didn't. But if I'm doing great guns, let's wait till the figures come in and then we'll talk about it. You can give me a bonus for the figures. So he said to me, team, tell you what, when your figures come in, I think they're going to do all right. Yeah, we'll put a bonus on top of what you're being paid. So I was like, all right. So anyway, the figures came in, poof, through the roof. We are at 10 o'clock. Through till 1. At 10 o'clock, I had more people listening to real radio, to my show, than all of the other radio stations in South Wales combined. It's just matter of fact. So he said to me, team, he said, if you can do better than that, and they're tremendous, if you can do better than that, if you can get a third of breakfast, because breakfast is your engine. If you get good breakfast figures on the radio, then it just cranks up the power of the radio station. Goes into mid-mornings, and then the audience stay with you through maybe a little bit in the afternoon, then drive, bring the audience back. And if you get a good late night phone-in or a late night show, then your average hours just goes through the roof. So what you're doing is you're trying to give a big audience that listen for a long time. And my job was to get them to listen to 3 hours every night, which I did. And he said, right, team, we'll give you a 10 grand bonus if you can get a third of breakfast. I was like, all right, John. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, next set of figures come in, we get a third of breakfast. And I said, right, John, what we're going to do about that bonus? It'll buy me a few beers. He said, oh, did you get it in writing? I said, I didn't have to, John. I agreed it with you. Oh, no, man. It wasn't my decision. Did you get it in writing? I said, no. You said you would. Oh, team, I can't give it to you, man. It's not in writing. John, you're a caring, understanding 90s type. Oh, team, if it had been in writing, I would have done. So I took them to court. Not then, later. Took them to court to have a bit of a dance in court, and I won. Well, it was a very bloody score draw. But as part of that, remember when I first started this channel, and all these people were talking about, oh, he's this, and he's this, and he's this, and we found this online. Fabulous. Thank you very much for that. Because the Guardian are getting a knock at the door. And they're going to shit themselves. Because that was part of the legal agreement laid down by a judge in a county court in Nottingham in 2002. And they've left it up online. So, yeah, I had, I knew him as Chunky Myers from the 80s. So when I started my first radio station, John was doing a voiceover. He used to come in and voice ads. So he was a kind of, I've known him for long time, long time. I think it was 85 the first time I met him. So I'd known John a long time. And there was, when I was doing the late night phone in for Century in the Northeast, Century Radio, he said to the program director, he said, oh, he's talking about bloody carrots, man. And John said, this is the program director. He said, right, and your point is, oh, man, that's boring. He said, leave him alone. He's got everybody listening. Let him be the judge of what he talks about when he, oh, man, talking about carrots. And John said, look, there's loads of people that grow their own veg, so leave him alone. Just, I plug him in, off he goes. He brings the audience. So wherever I went, it was just plug me in, I'll bring the audience. But Myers, he was a funny character. He was a complex character, always trying to scrounge food off people, including me. But brilliant pink rose. I prefer pink roses. Right, brilliant. At least you've got the email, right? Brilliant. So we're going to talk about, because I think The Crown's launched tonight, isn't it? Netflix kind of doing it at midnight. I tried logging in earlier. Can't remember me login. It's that long since I've used it. We're also going to talk about King Charles, because he's right in a, how can I put this? He's right in a storm of the brown stuff. The Elvington. Have you ever crossed swords with John Gaunt on any of your radio platforms? I've got a great story about John Gaunt. Great story. John, if you're watching, it's not even your real name, mate. What are you using pseudonyms for? Oh, tax allowance. All right, okay. He sent me an email once, and I've still got it. This was a few years ago. I will get back to the Charlie. I've got this email somewhere in my archive, and John Gaunt sent me an email while I was at Century 106 on lunchtime phone-in, pretending to be somebody from a university or a college degree course or something. And he's like, oh, I listen to your show all the time, Adrian. It's brilliant. Can you give us some advice how to go on in radio? So I spent hours, I spent literally a whole day writing this stuff out to him and sending it to him. But he was using a different name. John Gaunt's his on-air name. It's not even his real name. I think John Gaunt was, he lived in, as in John Gaunt, the broadcaster, lived in Edinburgh, must have come up with the name while he was in Edinburgh, because there was a very famous John Gaunt in the borders between England and Scotland. So I don't know where he got the name from, made it up, obviously. And I gave him what I did and why I did it and how I did it. I gave him techniques and understanding. And off he goes. He ends up making a fortune writing for The Sun and hectoring people on national radio. Brilliant. Matrix on PC. Hi, Adrian. Nice to see you. Loving the channel. Thank you very much. Yeah, wrong. Yeah, can I talk about talking about Matrix on PC? Let's talk about Wokery. I wasn't going to, but what's her face? The blonde with the long legs. As Esther McVeigh. Now, I know Esther as a TV kind of presenter, and I met her a long time ago. Long time ago, but of no great consequence. And then Richboy, who's obviously, you know, his backside's going 50p6 and 50p6, but it's like a rabbit's nose. Putting like a rabbit's nose, I think is the expression, because he thinks he's going to lose it all. He's losing the party, he's losing the country, everybody's... do you know, we should start up a club. Let's all laugh at Rishi. Let's all laugh at Rishi, because he's just out of his depth. He's insanely wealthy. Well, his missus is. He is insanely wealthy, but he has the deniability, and I've told you about this before. Politicians need deniability. So when they're doing something, they need to be able to say, no, weren't me, Your Honour, Governor. No. I blame the judges. I blame the Supreme Court. I blame Suella. Deniability. I've said to you before, we need to know how much money those two, that's Rishi and his missus, had in total, not the non-dom malarkey, but how much they had when he became prime minister. And I want to know, without it being passed off into, offshore banking systems and different businesses, I want to know what he's going to leave and she's going to leave with. Because I understand that Infosys, which is technically her dad's company, was brokered a deal for $1.5 billion for oil rights. So why would Rishi start offering these licenses to various companies when Infosys has agreed a $1.5 billion deal with BP, British Petroleum? Is that why he's not come out and said anything about Hamas, Gaza and Israel? Because at the last estimate, and this was done by BP 2001-ish, they guesstimate, because they can't be accurate, that there's 1.5 trillion cubic meters of gas under Gaza. 50 billion barrels of oil under Gaza. And young Rishi? Well, he won't. But his missus will. And her dad. No, they're one of the billionaires. So, how are Rishi? Cough. How much is the family making? Not you. You can't. You're the Prime Minister. But you have the deniability. How much is the family making, mate? 20 quid? Or was it 20 billion? I'm telling you, keep an eye on it. I mean, I know everybody's now parroting the follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. I mean, that's been around since the 80s. But there is so much money. Israel will be so wealthy if they build the Ben Gurion Canal through Gaza so that they can control the shipping and they can control the shipping of the oil and the gas around the globe. The Suez Canal, last full year, which was 21, it made $9.4 billion in profit. Are you catching me drift? Because it's built on sand, the Suez Canal, and they've blocked certain countries, Israel, from using it. So why can't Israel build the Ben Gurion Canal through the rock, which is more stable than sand and the Suez? And they reckon it might cost up to about $56 billion to build, but they'll make about between $6 and $7 billion profit per year. That makes Israel a very wealthy country, especially if you've got the gas and the oil reserves. No, the wonder the Arab states are like, no, hang on a second, you can't do that. But there's been secret meetings in Geneva. There's been secret meetings in Qatar. Hamas, they're calling them terrorists. Terrorists. Hamas is a terrorist organisation. Well, not the leaders, because the leaders are not even in Israel or Gaza or Egypt. They're in Qatar. That's why the meetings were held in Qatar. The Qataris host the Hamas leaders, and 4 of them live in Qatar in absolute luxury. And their wealth combined is $11 billion. Not the people that live in Gaza. These are the Hamas leaders that live in Qatar. I wonder how they've amassed that much money. You see, it's all crooked everywhere. It's corrupt and crooked everywhere. Wait till Netanyahu, once this war and everything's over and it's more peaceable in the Middle East. Netanyahu has really upset the Israelis. This is before this kicked off. They were kicking off at him for changing the judiciary. They were marching on the streets of Israel before the judiciary, and then, oops, the attacks on October the 7th started. And then all the media around the world. Have you noticed that it's always kids and the elderly? Kids and the elderly. Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. But they're not talking about the Hamas leaders having a combined wealth of $11 billion. They're not talking about what was going on with Bibi before it all kicked off. They're not talking about the oil and the gas wealth under Gaza. No. Kids and elderly. Propaganda, propaganda, propaganda. And if you buy into that, take a look at yourself. Even Ukraine. No. Oh, yeah. Vladamir Zelensky. Vladimir Zelensky, who are we, man? I thought you were my mate. I thought you were going to buy guns and stuff. And we're going to have our own armaments. We're going to build them. We're going to make them. We're going to sell them. We don't want them, Vladamir. What do you mean? I'm Volodymyr Zelensky. I'm the president of the Ukraine. All right. Have you brokered peace with Russia yet? No. Why? What do you mean? What do we want to broker peace for? We're making shed loads in this war. Yeah. I think you need to broker peace, Volodymyr. Why would I want to do that? Well, because the Western media is going to start and tar you and show you as an egotistical maniac. So, broker peace with Russia, Vladimir. Do as you're told, bonny lad. And we won't tar you with a bad brush. Now, who am I? Who am I? But watch, because I always give you these things. And then a month or 6 or a year down the line, I'll hope it comes true. But I said to you and continually tell you that I'm not psychic. I've not got any ability to see in the future. If I did, I'd be winning the bloody lottery every Saturday afternoon. I'd be making a fortune, me. Instead of doing YouTube, I'd be living in abject luxury in Qatar with the Hamas leaders. But just watch. Some of the things that I predicted on my late night phone-ins didn't come true for 20 years. And people were like... Katie Webster says, proportional representation. Any thoughts, Adrian? They'd bastardise it, Kate. They'd make it... Look, I'll give you this in a nutshell, in a really easy, simple way to understand this. Human beings love power, and they don't care how they get it. So back in the day, if you were landed gentry and you had 2 sons, the first son would be the one that would inherit the land and the money and the wealth and the name, only on the understanding that they would knock out a load of kids so that the name would be perpetuated and the seat would stay within the family. But the second one would always go into the church, because the first son would get all the wealth, that's where the money was, but the power would lie with the second son, who would go into the church. Because remember, before we got anywhere near William Tyndale converting, this was pre-King James Bible. So William Tyndale translated the Bible from the original Aramaic and Greek and Latin, and the Catholic Church was so incensed and upset with him because he wanted to make the word of a God available to the ploughboy or the king. And the church went, no, you can't do that. So they burned him at the stake. They burned William Tyndale. They brought him back from Europe and burned him at the stake in this country for heresy. What you don't know is that the King James Bible is the Old Testament is about 80% William Tyndale's work, and the New Testament is about 75% William Tyndale's work. But because a king put his name to it, the Catholic Church went, okay. So you see, human beings always want power. And you had the priestly classes who said, we are the right-hand men of God. So we understand God. You know, the bloke in the clouds, up there. They always pointed up there. Why would they point up there to some bloke with a grey beard and white flowing gowns and playing a harp with his wings and his halo shining? How does that work? Because they were telling you, well, not your ancestors, they were telling your ancestors hundreds of years ago, we're in charge. We've got the power. You can only get to God through us. So the priestly classes became the political classes in the last century, because they worked out they could just give you a whole load of BS and you'd believe them. And then wars started. Do you know, I think there's only been 1 year where there's never been British involvement in a war somewhere, in a theatre somewhere. Now, I'm sure you'll go, oh, Adrian, you've got that wrong. I know, I'm pulling it off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember all this stuff from when I used to do it on late night radio. So, proportional representation, they would never allow you the power. the political classes now, there's trillions and trillions and trillions of pounds going into that palace in London. Your taxes. Trillions of pounds of your taxes are going in there. And do you know when they say the government spent 200 million on the NHS, or they spent this on that, and foreign aid were giving away 1.5 billion? It's not theirs. It's your taxes. They're just giving it away. So look at all the dodgy deals, the corrupt deals they did in the lockdown over PPE. They gave away billions, if not trillions, in dodgy deals. Matt Hancock was getting backhanders, freely admitted. Oh, I got 10 grand. A backhander is still a backhander. And so the political classes have taken over from where the priestly classes are. So if they went, sorry to go on a bit, Kate, but you have to understand where we are with power. The church, it's done for. All the kiddie fiddling in America, I'm surprised it hasn't bankrupted the Catholic Church. I mean, I know the Vatican is a state in its own, but with its own army. But there's so much evil being perpetrated by people within the Catholic Church. That's why I can freely call the Pope chief paedophile. Freely. Because it's stuffed to the gunnels with evil. And he's never going to be able to get rid of that. He's had a go at somebody saying, no, if you're going to say things against LGBTQ, CNN, BBC, ITV, if the letter people, if you're going to do that, then out of the church. I think he was a Turkish priest, I could be wrong. Kicked him out of the church. Oh, here, man, deal with the kiddie fiddlers. Not with some boy who's going, oh, man, I'm not sure, really. Just to be all woke. We'll get back to the head of wokery in a second. And so it was always the priestly classes that had the power. And then the political classes worked out around about World War I. Oh, hang on a second. We can take the power off them. So the political classes started saying to you, just so I don't lose my thread, I'm writing somebody's name down. Right, what we'll do is, Churchill was a liberal, not even a conservative at one point, and he was the man that turned the guns on the people. Go and check your history books. No, he wasn't standing there with a gun himself, obviously, but he was the one that decided, oh, yeah. So, about 100 years or so ago, they went, ooh, let's have a think about this. It was the Whigs, it was the Liberals, it was the Conservatives. There was no Labour political party at all. Oh, we need to represent the people. The communists were all over it. They were getting rid of royal families left, right and centre. Hey, come here. What's your name? Are you royal? Yeah. No, you're not. 100 years ago. So the communists... So the Labour Party was born to represent the working man. I'll ask you a straight question. Do you think the Labour Party represents the working man nowadays? Sir Keir Starmer. 2 words. Jimmy Savile. His file went across his desk and it was NFA. No further action. Now, Sir Keir is part of the establishment, so they're never going to allow him to be usurped. Jeremy's gone. I mean, how far left do we want to go? It's getting to a point where it's so far left on one side and so far right on the other. We've got Celeb Braverman and Jeremy Corbyn. Do you think they'll ever be mates? Do you think they'll ever go out for a beer? So that's proportional representation? Nah. If it meant being able to control you, Kate, they would bring it in. They would give you some mealy-mouthed politic and going, oh, yes, we'll bring it in because it's going to benefit you. And the minute their gobs start saying it's going to benefit you, you know that it's not. So when you've got Richboy going, we're going to sort the butts. We're going to sort the butts. I'm going to sort the butts myself. You just know he has no intention of stopping the boats, of sorting the boats, of sorting this idiotic immigration that's flowing into this country. He's not interested. He's interested in making money. Well, He has to have deniability. But let's find out. Has it gone to Infosys? Has it gone to his missus? Because it won't be going to him. He has the deniability. There's bloody the pig shagger. He was, was it 6 years leader of the Tory party, 11 years as leader of the Tory party. Sorry, Prime Minister, 6 years Prime Minister, 11 years as leader of the Tory party. And everybody thought he was a nice guy until he absolutely gubbed up royally. Oh, I'm going to give you a referendum. This is King Remainer, remember? David Cameron, pig shagger, King Remainer. He was King Remainer, he voted Remain, and he set the whole referendum up so that we would stay in Europe. And honestly, you went and voted the wrong way. You went and voted the wrong bloody way. So the lads upstairs that are actually the puppet masters, the 1922 committee, how many letters have gone into them today? Dear 1922 committee, I am sending you a vote of no confidence into the jockey, Schoolboy Sunak. How many of them have gone in today? Not telling us, are they? So, Dave, call me Dave. He's saying, oh, don't worry, we'll remain. Oh, I'll give them a referendum. They're never going to vote to leave. Never. We gave them free butter and free sugar 20 years ago. They're in it for a freebie. And you voted the wrong way. How very dare you? 17.5 million voters went, here, Dave, mate, no, we're off. And then he was like, what have you done? So the boys upstairs that hold the real power have just said, Dave, mate, just resign. Just resign. You've gubbed this up. And that's why it's Brexit, Jim, but not as we know it, because we've never left. I mean, some of the politicians like, the blonde buffoon will have gone, yeah, we have. No, we haven't. Have you ever worked with Stephanie Hurst? No, I've never worked with Hursty, but we know each other. We've met, had beers together. We have a mutual best friend. So I've known Hursty for, God blimey. Hang on, when was Foster's wedding? That might have been... I turned up at one of my mates' weddings in a kilt. I don't think they ever forgot that. So don't ever believe anything that comes out of the gob of a politician. I'm telling you, please don't trust them, because they're not in it for you. They're not even in it for their family half the time, because they're shagging around behind the family's back. I mean, how many ministers have gone, at the front gate to the house, and you'll notice it's never on a council estate. It's always on a massive estate, and they go, oh, well, I love my wife dearly. It was just an aberration. It was just one of those things. How many kids did you knock out? Who do you think you are, Prince Philip? Did I say that out loud? Hasn't he got a couple in South America? Whoa, what's that book? The Royals. Kitty Kelly. I've got the book somewhere in my archive. Kitty Kelly wrote this book about the Royals. Oh! Prince Philip, you dirty dog. She also put in there about the Queen. Similarly, Andrews, not Phillips. Oh, it's in the book. I'm just relaying to you what's in the book. Whether that's true or not, I'm not to be the judge or jury, but she says that Andrew is Portuguese, not Phillips. But, I mean, I'm sure it'll come out in the Endgame. I've said to you before, one of the funniest things I saw was Harry Enfield in this little play. I mean, it wasn't in a big theatre, but it was big enough for it to be raucous, called Windsor's The Endgame. I know there's been a TV series, but I saw it live. Oh, Harry Enfield is just amazingly good as King Charles. And they were talking about, without any disrespect to the Queen and Philip and any other members of the royal family, that they were brilliant. I still can't work out why they call her Two Cocks Kate in Windsor's The Endgame. I have no idea, but that's what they called her. So I want to ask you about, we will get to Richboy, we'll get to the garage when I'm a celebrity. We're going to play Hunt Vladamir, and we'll get to the Middle East again and talk about Esther McVeigh. Let's talk about Esther McVeigh now. I want to talk about it because I kind of met her a long time ago. when she was telly, young, vivacious, doing telly. Now, she's the Minister for Anti-Wokery. Now, my auntie has never been called wokery, but... hang on, what's Tablock Tracy just said? Climb down off your soapbox, hun. It's getting boring now. Ooh, Pink Rose, what you doing, you dibby tart? And then Dame Anna's gone, I agree with you, Tablock Tracy. Now, we're not having a pile-on. This is not what we do here. We're critical thinkers. And Pink Rose has been good enough to give me her name privately. Or his name. Who am I to judge? But we'll take that off screen and I'll deal with it. Don't worry. So Pink Rose, play nicely. Otherwise, you know what they're like. GB Patriot. Harry Enfield was hilarious as the gay Nazi. What was that in? GB Patriot. Terry Wookford, love it. It's a great Scottish expression. Thick as mince. But if she played the cards right, Esther could have me. Yeah, what's the old line? Guess me waiting, you can have me. That's close enough. Within a few stone. But Esther is like the... she's the McWokery minister. So you can't... Are they going to get rid of all this woke stuff? Are they going to... I mean, can you believe? All the lawyers. Let me tell you this about barristers and lawyers. Legalised extortion. And I don't trust them as far as I can spit them. I've had to hire them. Don't trust them. Why don't I trust them? Because it's very well known that in law school, if they ever went to law school, there is one surety. If there's a moral vacuum, that's when the legal eagles make money. So, you know, when there's kind of feral kids on the street stabbing each other, when there's all kinds of stuff going on, real dark stuff, they're making a fortune from it. Oh, I'm a defence lawyer. Are you really? Oh, so you're making money out of somebody else's misery? Oh, no. I just I try and give as good a defence as I can for the miscreant. Oh, the social network. No, I'm not going to repeat that, you tart. Wrong. But we need... So it's all this namby-pamby-pingo liberalism where they go, oh, no, you can't say that. Keith Thomas. Yaki da, Adrian. Yaki da, Keith. Pwy'ch tad nawr te. Or even better, if you can speak it, Tusley and Bob size. So we have to get rid of all these namby-pamby-pinko liberals that are just grifting for money. They'll stand in a court of law going, oh, I made lots of money with this. Lovely. Don't care whether they're guilty or not. I don't care what the outcome is. I've just made shitloads. And that's why I am looking forward to, and may God forgive me, I am looking forward to AI. Come and bring the AI on, because then we won't have to go to barristers and lawyers and work out how to work the legal system to actually get some reparation when we're being done down by other people. No, AI is going to do it for us. So all the barristers, are you going to start your own YouTube channel? Oh, I think you have. So, Esther McVeigh, anti-wokery minister. She has her own portfolio, don't you know? Very thick blonde hair. Is that a wig? No, I'm not talking about Michael Fabricant. If that's his name. I saw him today. He's good. How does he have dandruff? I thought that blonde hair was a wig. Michael Fabricant. Have you seen him? The politician. Terry Wookford, if only the English knew what you just said. They have no clue. But 8 people have switched off. What will we talk about? Let's go back to the Royals. Or before I do, have you seen any of Banged Up yet? It's gone all woke, man. So we're 3 episodes in Banged Up. The first episode, you're thinking, whoa, this is a bit tasty on Channel 4. I mean, Celeb SAS. Matt Hancock just got a finger wagging at the end. They should have waterboarded him or something. He just got a finger wagging. The point is calling him a, derriere. But Celeb SAS was like, oh, let's give them a cuddle. Like, if you're in the SAS, you go into foreign lands, and if you get caught, you just get shot. So, you could wind up dead. Don't don't be giving them a cuddle. I know it's TV and all, but don't give them a cuddle if they're trying to get into the SAS. And not everyone failed. Everyone coughed. Everyone at the end. They failed because they went, oh, yeah, I'm military. I'm special forces. Oh, I'm in this show. I'm special forces. So they should have failed, every single one of them. None of them passed training, except Gareth What's-His-Face. And they made him the winner. They didn't even get through the interrogation phase. How pants is that? So we then get into Banged Up, which is all about celebs going into prison with proper prisoners. Not serving time proper prisoners, but still prisoners. And what happens? I watched the first episode. Oh, this is brilliant. Second episode. Oh, all right. Then they're just getting in there. They're getting their stories established. And then episode 3, it's gone all woke, man. It's gone all cuddly. It's gone all, corn tractor man kind of fessed up. Now, there is an old saying, snitches get stitches. So what happens? He kind of coughs and snitched on somebody else, and somebody else just gave him a cuddle and went, no, it's all right, mate. So Banged Up has gone the same way as Celeb SAS. It's gone a bit noncy and a bit wokey and a bit cuddly. Can we have Esther McVeigh on the job? Esther, first job, don't sort out the legal profession. Sort out Banged Up. Get it proper on it. Get it going. Tell them, none of this namby-pamby pinko liberalism. We don't want any of that. We want it proper banged up. I know that sounded completely wrong. If you know what I mean, Esther. Do you want it banged up? Good TV show. So they had a weapon found in one of the cells, and that's what this corn tractor guy was on about. And then Johnny Mercer, I've got to go back to the House of Parliament. I've got work to do. So they just let him out after 3 days. I've got work to do. And his cellmate's going, like, where are you going? I've got to go back to the House of Parliament. And like they were cuddling each other and like, can I have your telephone number so I can be in contact once I get out? And he was like, yeah, so you can send me pictures of your dick. And you just think, hang on a second. So all your faux bonhomie with a prisoner is actually how politicians act. Oh, they're very good in the moment when they're shaking your hand and saying hello. And then when actually they want to do something genuine, off they go. House of Parliament. Got to go and do me work, man. Do me work. GP Patriot. Yeah, utter tart. It's going to take me at least half an hour to stop me thinking about that. So do we talk about politicians being unelected? So we've got an unelected Prime Minister with an unelected Foreign Minister who are answerable to no one, and they've got 350 Tory MPs that they could have given it to the Foreign Secretary. I mean, can you remember Douglas Hurd, the spitting image puppet with the ice cream cone on his head? He was a fairly decent Foreign Minister. Give it back to him. Is he still alive? But Dave... Esther has quit all of her media commitments. GB News. And I'll do a very quick comment on Strictly. I still can't believe that the Crown have got Fergie. I was going to tell you this ages ago. Sorry about that. I just kind of meandered off. They've got Fergie a little rotund in the Crown. Now, I'm sure she enjoyed getting her toe sucked, but the fact that, how weird, she's had it tight for 30 years, man. I mean, maybe that's how she lost weight. Somebody was sucking it out of her toes. But in the Crown, she's very, 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 very rotund. Poor Fergie. I mean... she's in a bit of a tight place at the minute, and I do wish her well with her health issues. That's not something to be celebrating with anyone. But to make out that she's, a chunkster in the Crown, Oh, how weird, man. You could have been a little bit more sensitive. But that's the Crown for you. They want to get people to to watch. A bit like Scobie. Scobie and me Endgames. I think I'll do a separate video on that because it's going to take me another hour to explain all of that. But I want to know... Bonnie Phil. Wiggy, it shows you. Wiggy Videos 13, it shows that you've been paying attention. I'm not going to call her Bonnie. No. Well, if she's in the northeast. But definitely not in Nottingham. What's that? Adrian, Edwin's Curry and John Major. That's the one you won't stop. Oh, I will stop immediately. I've met Edwina. I mean, see, John Major is right up the food chain. He's in Order of the Garter. So and there's only 25 of those, and most of them are the royal family. So he's as far up the food chain as you can go for being a decent kind of guy. I don't think, well, Blair's in there. I'm not quite sure how B. Liar got to be a member of the Garter. But as much as Cameron loves being Lord Cameron, is he ever going to get Order of the Garter? Can you imagine Theresa May or Liz Truss or the blonde buffoon? You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between his hair and the feathers. Anyway, what about Nigel Garage? Ferries is all right. Did security for Fergie and Prince Andrew. Is that you, Terry? Did you do that? We need to have a conversation. I met Andrew once. Not Balmoral. What do they call it in Edinburgh? Capital. Oh, I can't remember it for goodness sake. That's old age. But that's another story for another night. I've got loads of them. But what about Nigel Garage? Fergie and Randy Andy getting jig with it puts me right off me bottle of brown ale. Oh, bottle of the dog. Really? Can you imagine? It's a bit like, can you remember the film Porky's? I've never laughed so loud. But can you remember the reason why one of them got called Lassie in Porky's, the movie, if you've seen it, if you remember it? Fergie! So, Nigel Garage, are you going to watch him? It starts on Sunday. I'm not here. I'm at a wedding getting loads of free gargle. So, are you... Yeah, Tony B. Liar, the self-proclaimed president of the United Kingdom. Isn't he off out to the Middle East to kind of broker some deal with the Israelis and the Gazans? But Nigel Garage, is he just... I mean, he's getting a lot of bunts. He's getting over 1 million for this. I've had a conversation today where I've said 1.5 million and somebody else has gone, no, he's not getting 1.5 million. He'll get about 1 million. But they're trying all the publicity in the run-up to the launch of the show on Sunday. But seemingly there's some kind of protest going up where people are saying, oh, no, let's protest. Let's have Garage out first. Hang on, let me do this. Oh, I knew that would happen. So are you going to vote for to keep Nigel Garage in I'm a Celebrity, keep me in here, please? Because, I mean, he's going to be entertaining, surely. I mean, he said, right, what I'm going to do is when I go in the jungle, I'm going to not drink. Now, there's loads of stuff where we see him with a pint in his hand. Loves a gargle, does old Nigel. But it makes him a man of the people. So, I'm not going to drink while I'm in the jungle. Oh, you can tell he's a politician. He had a G&T on the flight out there. Just one. So he's obviously a shandy drinker. I mean, one G&T. What's that about? Could have at least got you know, a little wasted. And then you're in the jungle sobering up for 3 weeks. No, he had one G&T according to the cabin crew. And he's only allowed fags. No, hang on, I should rephrase that. He's only allowed cigarettes while he's in the jungle. But no alcohol. No, you can't. No. So, are you going to watch him? Are you going to vote? Are you going to, just... Nigel, no, mate. I mean, can you imagine? He's not going to be modelling any swimsuits, is he? He's not going to do a Mylene class by any chance. See, you started it. Now you've got that in your head all night. But, I mean, is he going to be entertaining? Is he going to just lie there in his hammock and do bag of roll all day? There you go. That's a politician for you. So, Yeah, oh, can you imagine? Can you imagine Nigel being so upset at all the news? He's going to come back and there's going to be no Conservative Party. They're putting the con in Conservatives. There's no Conservative Party. The Labour Party have all minced off into the dust. So there's no Labour Party. He'll come back and go, oh my word, hang on, I've only been away 3 weeks. 3 weeks is a long time in politics, let me tell you, Nige. So Keir Starmer, Lee Anderson, 1,000 a show, Rees Mogg, 4 grand a show, McVeigh and Davies, 2 grand each, Dorry, 3 grand a show. Blimey, they're going to have to get some, but that's not, it is a national station, and that's not far away from what you would get in London. That's London prices. I mean, you would get, no, it would be remiss of me to talk about what I know that people earn in radio, but that's not far away. 3 grand a shift. Well, there's loads of people getting that in radio in London. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to wrap this all up, and then we'll kind of catch up next Wednesday. But in the meanwhile, where is Vladimir Putin? I ask you a serious question. I know there's 124 of you, and we're not up to, hang on a second, have we only got 57? Or is that my eyesight? 57 likes tonight. Yeah, tarts. Normally we get over 100, so come on, it's 124 of you. Smash the likes. Unless I'm completely shite, then don't. But where is Vladimir Putin? I like to get your grey matter working. October 26th, they reckon he had a heart attack. They reckon there's been a takeover in the Kremlin, and they've stuffed Vladimir in some freezer somewhere, and in the meanwhile, there's his cohorts are running Russia. Now, would that be real? That's like a plot for Nadine Dorries. Surely he's not using a load of lookalikes. Lauren Taylor, I know it's bloody disgusting. Meanwhile, the constituents are struggling to heat their homes. I know. So, is Vladimir Putin dead or alive? Now, normally, if rumours circulate like this of a leader or, somebody who's trying to keep control of a country, dictator. Have you got a dictator, Adrian? No, I've used the cream. Normally they'd come out and they'd go, Jelly B, I think he's dead, Adrian. Stiff or dead? So he's, honestly, you're just leading me down a path that I should not. AD Blackmore, what do you mean, night? I haven't finished, man. I'm talking about Vladimir Putin. So, here's a take. Now, this, if it's a plot in a book, maybe I should write the book. But, if it washes with Nadine Dorries, 3 grand a pop. So, who was the leader of the Wagner Group? The Wagner Group got paid $6.2 billion by the CIA just to follow Vladimir Putin and get him out of office. He went up to St. Petersburg, which bizarrely was also the headquarters of the Wagner Group. So he goes up to St. Petersburg. The Wagner Group go, whoa, no, we're not going up there. We're not chasing him. And the CIA said, hang on a second, you've got $6.2 billion we've just given you. Oh, yeah, sorry, lads, we're not going to chase him. Yes, you are. We're giving you $6.2 billion. No, we're not. No, we're not. And then, like, 10 days later, the plane's crashed. And who was it that told the Americans that the plane had crashed, that identified the body and buried it? The Russians. So who would benefit to the tune of $6.2 billion? The head of the Wagner Group and Vladimir Putin. So the CIA are not for mucking about. They control the world. They run the world. So they're like, right, okay, so you've asked $6.2 billion in your trouser pocket. And you're telling me that the head of the Wagner Group's dead, died in a plane crash, and you've buried him, so there's no evidence. And who's left? So from October 26th, he's had a heart attack, seemingly. from the reports I'm hearing, I've got no irrefutable proof, and this just could be me flying a kite. It could be pie in the sky. But there's $3.1 billion of the CIA's money disappeared with the head of the Wagner Group, and they want the money back from Vladamir because he's off. Now, if he was thinking, well, I can go and see out me latter years, another 10, 15 years, I can take $3.1 billion with me. Oh, that's a holiday and a half. I can go to the Maldives for a week. So, is he dead? Is he on an extended holiday? Are they going to trot out the body? Or are they going to... Because they reckon he's using about 7 different lookalikes. Looky-likey. No likey? No looky. So, it's honestly at that level, they don't care. It's all games. So, you know, if you look at Joe, Sleepy Joe, and he's shaking hands with the Chinese Prime Minister today. Hello, Xi. How are you? Any more deals going? Yeah, just speak to Hunter. Yes, not a problem. Speak to Hunter. Through your interpreter. Obviously, we don't speak fluent Chinese or Mandarin. No, just speak to Hunter. Just make sure he hasn't got his laptop with him. And so he's meeting the Chinese president today, shakes his hand. And I'll guarantee you, in his ear, that they're going, Joe, wake up, man. Wake up, it's the Chinese president. Wake up, man. Ooh, where am I? Like, at the Veterans Parade the other day, he places a wreath on the stand and then backs away and goes, where am I? What do I need to do? What's that's a wreath? Oh, am I dead? Oh, I'm in a cemetery. Am I dead? No, Mr. President, just step away from the wreath. Can you imagine? And then he turns left. No. Somebody's in his ear going, no, Mr. President. No, turn right. And then he turns right, and somebody's in his ear going, no, Mr. President. No. Don't turn right. Don't turn left. Just back away from the wreath. It's not yours. We're putting it there for somebody else and for an organisation. So just back away, and you're still alive. Barely, but still alive. Honestly. Joe Biden, he's as close to death as you're ever going to get without being dead. Or is he? Because, you know, they've got... one of his lookalikes has got bollocks for a chin. Have you seen them? They kind of hang down here, so they get the dimpled chin. Looks like a pair of bollocks. Yeah, my spherical's your chin. So he's... Honestly, I've been so naughty tonight. Yeah, tell bloke Tracy, Joe, follow the light. Mr. President, follow the light. What do you mean? Where? So they use these lookalikes. I mean, they have done. All the dictators in time immemorial have used lookalikes. They've used doppelgangers. Even the Beatles. Don't get me to the Paul is dead thingy. But they reckon that they had some lookalikes that they used because they were either knackered or they were working them really hard, flogging them like workhorses. Obviously, they couldn't compose the music. The lookalikes. Beatles could do that, but the lookalikes could go out and sign a few autographs and glad hand a few people. So, where is Vladimir? Will the answer ever come out? Andy Sinsky, look forward to catching up later. Cheers, Andy. I think we've had enough fun for one night. Otherwise, they'll be chucking us off here going, oi, having too much fun. Stop that. So, if we can get 72 likes, you utter wrong-uns. See if we can smash the like and get it through 100. Because, seemingly... the algorithm goes, oh, hello, they're quite liking Mr. Allen's, what's that? You mean Bolton Chinnon from Men in Black? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my sphericals, your chin. So, thank you for your support tonight. Thank you for your likes if you keep smashing them so we get over 100. Thank you for your subscriptions. But most of all, thank you for your indulgence. I've really enjoyed just riffing and telling a few stories tonight. Really enjoyed it. I do have another story about Charles and Harry and Omid Scooby, the attack dog, and Endgames. So we'll do that in a video tomorrow or the day after. But we are trying to make more videos for you now that I've learned how to edit. And look after yourself. Be well. I won't see you in person because I'll be in spirit. Lots of it. On Sunday and Saturday, seemingly. Being invited out at Saturday. Honestly, when I was a boy in my 20s, oi. But now that I'm an older boy, it's a bit like, no, let's, I think we're getting a taxi. So it means I can have a gargle. which will be the first time in ages. So if I don't make it next Wednesday, you know that the hangover lasted a few days. Hopefully it won't be. But enjoy your evening. Be well. Stay safe. And we'll talk about the important stuff in videos that are coming over the next few days. Live is not a live. It's something else. It will be a premiere of some kind. And then the next live is next Wednesday, 8 o'clock. See you in the next video.